Welcome to Customers part of Exponia. If you go to Data and Assets and click on Customers, you will see the overview of all the customers which are in your system based on different attributes and sessions that they have. Let's go through all the things you can see here and then work through that. So the first thing you're going to notice is that you have displayed all the customers or all users which are going to sign in to your place. Sometimes it's simply the fact that you have the first session start by clicking on your website. Let's go through one of them. What Exponia allows you is to see a particular customer and all their properties, events, and what they have. So let's go through that. On the left side of the properties and events, you can see the identifiers and properties of that person. What this allows you to have is to understand their hard IDs. So many times you will have the email registered or their cookie, which serve as a hard ID, which you're going to later target in your email campaigns. Lately, you're going to see their properties. So oftentimes you're going to see things like their name, their gender, and things around that. For instance, if I go to the profile at this hand, you can see that the customer is registered by their name with their phone number and a lot of other information that is available to you for later work. On the right side, you have the events. You can see all the things that the customer does. Here you can only see campaign events because of the way that Exponia tracks their own data on our website. But here you will also understand that many times you will see session starts, purchases, everything that you have in your data mapping as events. This will target absolutely everything that you need for your future work. Later, what you can do is to go to the overview bar. This will show a much better understanding of the values that the customer does individually. So you will see how many items they've seen, what purchases they have, and how much revenue did you have per that particular customer. You'll also see the last purchases, campaigns that they've been targeted with, and a lot of other things that you can create in data mapping section. Here, you do not see any data, simply because the way we track currently in our docs page, it doesn't review these things. But later you will see here all the important data that you need for that particular customer, which you can later see. If you go back to customers, another thing that you can do is to filter them with customer filters. So if we're going to add a filter condition, this will allow me to select a particular event that I'm going to later filter all my customers to see them in a particular order. So let's say I'm going to select those who have the first session start, apply the filter. Now I'm going to see all the customers that I have with the first session start. You can also make it much more complicated by adding an event attribute, further final steps on the logical chain, or other filter conditions. This will allow you to have more elaborate understanding of your customers based on the filters, and you can read more about that in our article about filtering data and funnels in docs page. Last thing you can do about this is that based on all the data you collected for that funnel, you can go to the right side and download customer data or simply delete those customers based on what you need for your projects. Note that similarly as you can delete those customers, you can create new ones. There are two ways how to do so, or actually three. The first one is to go individually by naming the customer based on what you have here and putting them by your hand. You can also import your data through data imports right here. Look at our different video or a different article on docs page. And also the simple way is that the way Exponia collects their data through any time they enter your page by having the first session start. So this is the customer data in Exponia.